What if the chains that once bound a people never truly broke, but only reshaped themselves over centuries? In this episode of Black History in America, you'll hear the unbroken thread of resilience that runs through generations of Black Americans, from hidden rebellions in the shadows of plantations to bold marches that shook the nation. Their story reveals how every step toward freedom came at a cost, and why the echoes of those battles still resonate today. The story begins on ships crossing the Atlantic, where millions of Africans were stolen from their homes and forced into a life of unimaginable hardship. In the early days of America, these men, women, and children arrived in chains, stripped of their names and cultures, yet something inside them refused to die. On vast plantations across the South, they toiled under the sun, harvesting cotton and tobacco that built a nation's wealth. Whips cracked, families shattered at auctions, and laws treated them as property. But in the quiet of night, whispers spread. Songs carried coded messages of escape, and small acts of defiance planted seeds of hope. One such spark came from Nat Turner, a preacher who saw visions of justice. In 1831, he led a rebellion in Virginia, striking back against the overseers who had tormented his people for so long. The uprising lasted only days, but it sent terror through the white establishment. Turner's fate was sealed at the gallows, yet his actions forced the South to tighten its grip, making the path to freedom even more perilous. Would anyone dare to follow? As the nation grew, so did the calls for abolition. In the North, free Black communities formed, where figures like Frederick Douglass rose from the ashes of slavery. Douglass had escaped bondage himself, teaching himself to read in secret and becoming a voice that thundered against injustice. His autobiography exposed the brutal realities, drawing white allies into the fight. Meanwhile, Harriet Tubman, scarred from her own enslavement, became a conductor on the Underground Railroad. She slipped back into the South time and again, guiding hundreds to freedom through swamps and dark forests, evading bounty hunters with a pistol at her side. Each journey was a gamble with death, and Tubman's resolve never wavered. But as tensions boiled, the country hurtled toward war. In 1861, the Civil War erupted, pitting brother against brother. Black soldiers enlisted in the Union Army, fighting not just for the nation, but for their own liberation. Battles raged at places like Gettysburg, where blood soaked the earth. Then, in 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring slaves in rebel states free. Jubilation spread, but the war dragged on for 2 more years. When the Confederacy finally surrendered in 1865, 4 million Black Americans stepped into a fragile new dawn. What would freedom look like in a land still scarred by hate? Reconstruction promised a fresh start. Black men gained the right to vote, and for the first time, they held office in state legislatures. Schools opened, families reunited, and communities built churches as beacons of strength. Hiram Revels became the first Black U.S. Senator, a symbol of progress. Yet white supremacists seethed. Groups like the Ku Klux Klan emerged from the shadows, riding at night to terrorize and lynch. Federal troops withdrew in 1877, leaving the South to its own devices. Jim Crow laws slithered in, segregating trains, schools, and fountains. Poll taxes and literacy tests stole the vote, while sharecropping trapped families in debt. Violence escalated. Lynchings became public spectacles, with crowds gathering as if for a festival. Ida B. Wells, a fearless journalist, documented these horrors, traveling the country to expose the truth. Her words ignited outrage abroad, but at home, the noose tightened. By the early 1900s, Black Americans faced a system designed to crush their spirits. How much longer could they endure? A great migration stirred in the 1910s as thousands fled the South for northern cities like Chicago and Harlem. Factories beckoned with jobs, and a cultural renaissance bloomed. Jazz filled the air, poets like Langston Hughes captured the soul of a people, and the Harlem Renaissance celebrated black artistry. But prejudice followed them north. Race riots erupted in places like Tulsa in 1921, where a thriving black Wall Street was burned to the ground by mobs. Hundreds died, businesses vanished overnight. Still, the spirit endured. In the 1930s, the Great Depression hit hard, but figures like A. Philip Randolph organized black workers, pushing for fair labor. World War II called black soldiers to fight fascism abroad while facing segregation at home. They returned as heroes, demanding change. The stage was set for a revolution. In 1954, the Supreme Court struck down school segregation in Brown v. Board of Education, a victory won by lawyers like Thurgood Marshall. But Southern states resisted, forcing children like Ruby Bridges to walk through jeering crowds to integrate classrooms. The tension built like a storm about to break. Then came Montgomery, Alabama in 1955. Rosa Parks, a seamstress tired from a long day, refused to give up her bus seat to a white man. Her arrest sparked a boycott that lasted 381 days, with black residents walking miles to work rather than ride segregated buses. A young pastor named Martin Luther King Jr. emerged as a leader, preaching nonviolence and drawing thousands to his cause. His words echoed Gandhi's, but the path was fraught with danger. Bombings targeted homes, and police unleashed dogs and fire hoses on protesters. In Birmingham, 1963, children marched into the fray, facing arrest and brutality that shocked the world. King's letter from Birmingham jail defended the urgency of justice, arguing that waiting was no longer an option. That same year, over 200,000 gathered in Washington for the March on Washington, where King delivered his "I Have a Dream" speech, painting a vision of equality that moved the nation. Yet, as crowds dispersed, the fight intensified. Malcolm X from the Nation of Islam offered a different voice, fiery and unapologetic, urging self-defense and pride. He challenged King's methods, but both men sought the same end. Assassins struck, Malcolm in 1965, King in 1968, leaving voids that ached. Riots flared in cities like Watts and Detroit as frustration boiled over. Would the movement survive without its icons? The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Voting Rights Act of 1965 dismantled legal barriers, opening doors to education and politics. Black leaders like Shirley Chisholm ran for Congress, and affirmative action programs aimed to level the field. But backlash brewed. In the 1970s and 80s, the war on drugs disproportionately jailed black men, fracturing families. Economic gaps widened, and urban decay set in. Figures like Jesse Jackson pushed for inclusion, running for president and inspiring a new generation. The 1990s brought triumphs like Colin Powell's rise, but also tragedies. The beating of Rodney King in 1991 sparked Los Angeles riots, highlighting police brutality. Hip-hop became a megaphone, with artists like Tupac and Public Enemy voicing the struggles. As the millennium turned, Barack Obama's 2008 election as the first black president symbolized hope. His family in the White House, a testament to progress. Yet his tenure revealed deep divisions. Birther conspiracies and obstructionism exposed lingering racism. The 2010s reignited the fire. Trayvon Martin's 2012 killing by a vigilante and the acquittal that followed birthed Black Lives Matter. Founded by Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, the movement spread like wildfire after Michael Brown's death in Ferguson, 2014. Protests filled streets chanting "Hands up, don't shoot." Body cameras captured horrors, Eric Garner gasping, "I can't breathe," Philando Castile shot during a traffic stop. In 2020, George Floyd's murder under a knee for nearly 9 minutes galvanized the world. Millions marched, statues of Confederates toppled, and corporations pledged change. Athletes like Colin Kaepernick knelt during the anthem, risking careers to protest injustice. Yet pushback came. Laws restricted voting, and critical race theory became a battleground. Incidents like Ahmaud Arbery's jog ending in gunfire reminded everyone that danger lurked in everyday moments. Today, Black Americans continue standing tall. Innovators like Serena Williams dominate sports, while entrepreneurs build empires. Vice President Kamala Harris breaks barriers, and cultural icons like Beyoncé amplify voices. But challenges persist. Disparities in health, wealth, and justice demand attention. Voter suppression efforts echo Jim Crow, and police reform stalls. The story doesn't end here. It's a living testament to endurance. Each generation passes the torch, ensuring the fight for true equality presses on. As you reflect on these chapters, remember, the resilience of Black Americans isn't just history, it's the foundation of a better tomorrow. Thank you for joining this episode of Black History in America. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What part of this story resonates with you most?